What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. So as you can see, we have some fruit here, and I'm about to eat all of this lovely fruit. In my last video, I explained that baby Rosie wasn't feeling well. Well, the whole house is not feeling well. So now we are here eating all this food for wellness. But I was thinking about something when I decided to eat this fruit, when I was putting it all together for a fruit salad, and it reminded me of why I was no longer vegan. After being vegan for maybe well over a decade, I ended up changing my diet. So that's why we're here. And this video is not to discourage anyone from being vegan. Is not to encourage anyone to be vegan. It's just recounting my experience when I was on a vegan diet, okay? And how it worked out for me. And if you're a nutritionalist or if you're a vegan nutritionalist and you can give some insight, please leave a comment and let me know where it is that I went wrong or how, if I wanted to revisit being vegan, how I could better do that. But let's talk about what happened. So I was vegan when my mom changed my diet around 14 years old or 14 or 15 years old. My mom changed my diet from a regular fast food, a typical American diet, fast food, any processed meats, anything I wanted to eat, I pretty much ate. So I ate like that from, I guess, birth until 14 or 15 years old. And I guess I never had any issues because I was young, I was a child. So, kids are mostly healthy and then kind of get unhealthy through their eating habits. So, yeah. But I had my first child when I was on a vegan diet. She's now 16 or close to 17 and 17 years old. And I had a healthy pregnancy. I had kind of bad morning sickness for like the first 3 months, and then after that it subsided, and the pregnancy was smooth, delivery was smooth, everything was great. Okay, it was a very smooth delivery. I was able to nurse very easily, and I was vegan the entire pregnancy, strict vegan the entire pregnancy. And I took supplements. I took a lot of brewer's yeast for my B12 or B vitamin supplements. And I also drank a lot of flaxseed oil to make sure I had those omega 3 or 6s or 9s. I drank a lot of flaxseed oils. I made sure I took my prenatal vitamins with her, and I drank a lot of water, and I took like a liquid iodine kelp supplement. This is many years ago. So she's like going on 17 very soon. So this was like 17 years ago. I can't remember precisely what all supplements I took, but I know for sure the ones that I listed are the ones that I took. So, and I had a very smooth pregnancy. I nursed her for about 3 years afterwards, and she wouldn't drink anything other than my breast milk, okay? So, that was great. I had a really successful pregnancy, and raising her from that time on, nursing was great, no issues. And then maybe when she turned about, I remember she was in like the second grade, the first or second grade, so maybe I guess 6 or 7 years after that, I was trying for another child, but I was having difficulty. And I didn't seek any medical attention because I figured I had this first child, there's no issue, I can have another one. Well, there was an issue, and I just didn't know that there was an issue, and I did not know that it was related to my diet because I thought that I had a very healthy diet. But in hindsight, I did have some things going on with me that I just kept Googling ways to fix it, vegan ways to fix it. I never looked at was it that my vegan diet was causing these issues. And some of those issues were I had thinning hair. My hair has always been very long, very thick, very dark, and just very strong. And one day I was in the shower and I was washing my hair, and my hair was just coming out in handfuls. And it really scared me. Like, I started crying and I couldn't believe it. I was having like handfuls of hair just coming out. So that was scary. And I didn't attribute it to my diet. I didn't know what was causing that issue. I was like, maybe it's just my hair is shedding extra this month. I don't know. But I just overlooked that. Then I was also having concentration and cognitive problems. And I just was looking up different ways to fix that, vegan remedies to fix that. And I had like a whole collection of herbs. I was taking so many herbs to get things together. I also noticed that my stomach was really big. I was having issues with digestion. So I would have a huge stomach that looked as if I was pregnant, although I wasn't. And people would ask me, are you pregnant? And I wasn't. And I was having a very hard time getting pregnant. And I had suffered a few miscarriages. And it was really hurtful for people to keep asking me, was I pregnant? And I wasn't. So, yeah, I had that issue, digestion issues. And I also noticed that my cycle had changed. Whereas before, my cycle would not be an issue. I didn't have bad cramps. I would have cramping, but it wasn't unbearable. But when things started getting really bad with my diet, being vegan, I had really unbearable cycles. Pomegranate seeds. I have pomegranates, blueberries, a prickly pear. This is my first time trying a prickly pear cactus fruit. Cuties, strawberries, grapes, kiwi, pineapple. All the good stuff, y'all. A little pharmacy here for wellness. But yeah, I had really bad menstrual cycles, and I just couldn't understand it. And they were very heavy, and they just were horrible. And I just really didn't understand it. And other than that, I would also sometimes get like a tingling sensation in my fingers and in my toes, like a stinging, tingling sensation. But I also ignored that. And the things that I didn't ignore, I Googled ways to fix it, vegan ways to remedy those issues. And I never considered that it was the way that I was handling my vegan diet that was causing those issues. But I'll tell you how I found out that it was my diet that was causing those issues. It was one time I was fed up. I was in a very dark place because I really wanted to have another child. It wasn't working out. I had seen everyone around me was having more children, and it was just something that I desired, and it wasn't working out, and I wasn't understanding because I already had a healthy pregnancy, a healthy baby before. So to me, secondary infertility was just a nightmare. And so I decided that I was going to cleanse everything. I was going to cleanse my soul, honey. I was going to cleanse everything from head to toe, okay? So what I did was I went on the lemonade fast. I went on the lemonade fast, and when I did that, I ended up being hospitalized. I ended up being dehydrated. Even though I was also drinking water, I was drinking the lemonade. I made it properly, and I was also drinking water. This wasn't my first time doing the lemonade fast. So I just got dehydrated this time. So I ended up being admitted to the hospital because I was very sick. When I went to the hospital, I told them that I was doing the lemonade fast, and they said, well, you need to be careful with that. And they ran my blood. They just happened to take my blood, and they ran some tests, and they came back and they said, your vitamin D levels are very low. Your iron is dangerously low. They took another test and somehow determined that my cholesterol was very, very low. And that's probably why I was looking so very young all the time, is because cholesterol helps regulate your hormones. And that's probably why my cycle was crazy and hurting very bad, because of my cholesterol, and also because my diet, my gut problem, my digestion problem was also probably a result of my cholesterol being very, very low, because cholesterol helps with absorption of nutrition and nutrients and things of that nature. So yeah, they came back with all those results, like my vitamin A, K. A lot of vitamins were just almost depleted, and the guy nurse that I was talking to, he was like, "What is going on? Do you have an eating disorder?" And I said, "No, I eat a lot, and as a matter of fact, I am a strict vegan, and I follow the best diet ever. And no, I'm not malnutrition. I eat a lot of calories a day because I had also started increasing my calories to gain weight and things like that before I started doing the lemonade fast. So I was like, there's no freaking way that I could be malnutrition." So the guy says, like, this is not uncommon. We have been seeing a lot of, the guy nurse, he said, this is not uncommon. We've been seeing a lot of folks coming in with these issues. And in my opinion, the vegan diet should be something that is done occasionally, not long term. And if it is long term, it should be labeled as an eating disorder. And you do not know how offended I was. Like, I was so taken back. Like, an eating disorder? What? Are you serious? Like, an eating disorder, sir? You know what? This vegan diet is the best thing since sliced bread. Let me tell you something, okay? I was so offended. I didn't want him to see me any longer. And he was like, I asked for another nurse. I didn't care how long it was going to take. I need to see someone else because I'm offended. I'm all the way offended, okay? To my soul. So, because I was one of those vegans that kind of look down on others who ate meat, and I will always be kind of preachy, like, you don't need to eat that, and do you know how bad that is, and that poor animal, and the vegan diet is just the best thing ever, and just one of those type of people. Like, people didn't want to be around me. I made people uncomfortable. I made people uncomfortable because when they ate meat around me, it was just not, don't do that, okay? So yeah, I was offended. But before he left, he said, I suggest that you eat some liver. I suggest you go home right now, get some organic grass-fed beef liver, since you like organic foods, and eat that liver. And then that was the last thing he said to me, and he left the room, and I got another nurse. So when he left, I was just so offended and so hurt, and I was crying because I wasn't feeling well also. I was dehydrated, and I was just disoriented. Like, I wasn't thinking clearly because obviously as my results came back, I was under, malnutrition thing going on. So I wasn't thinking properly. But yeah, after I left that hospital, I went home and I thought about it for a split second, and then it went out the door. I was like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm on this superior diet, and he's just not telling me anything. But then I slept on it, and I humbled down. I humbled down. I humbled it on down the next day, and I Googled people that have issues with vegan diets and what their symptoms were and things like that. And a lot of people had the same issues that I was having. And it's crazy that I never looked at the cons of a vegan diet. I always looked at the pros, and I always looked for a vegan remedy to fix anything that was going on, because that was what I was focused on. And it never occurred to me that I should look at the cons or the negative effects that could occur from a vegan diet. So yeah, I looked it up, and people were having the same issues as me. So I got up because I was still very weak. And I hadn't even noticed, because at this time in this relationship that I was in, I was not working. I was able to stay at home and take care of my daughter. I didn't have to go to work. I was taken care of, or we were taken care of. So I hadn't noticed that I was no longer getting up and going outside. I was no longer as physical as I used to be because I was so weak. I kind of noticed. That's why I went on the cleanse, but I didn't notice that it was that bad. So I got up and went to the farmer's market, and I bought some organic grass-fed beef, and I forced myself to eat it. I remember, because I put a Facebook status. This had to be maybe 6 years ago. I put a Facebook status. If I can find that status, I'm gonna link it. I'm gonna put it right here or something, or right here somewhere. But yeah, I made myself eat some liver pate, and I actually felt better. I could feel the iron and the vitamin A and things like that really just my body taking to it. It was a very weird feeling. It was almost like I drank an energy drink. So yeah, and then ever since then I gradually started changing my diet, but it was a very humbling experience for me because like I said, I was one of those people that was very adamant about the vegan diet being superior and how everyone needed to follow it, period. So that experience for me was very humbling. I respect it. That was something, that was a very hard life lesson, to be a person going around telling people all these things and then going through this and having to change my diet and still being around these people that I shamed for eating what they ate, and now I'm eating some of the things that they are eating, and having to explain to them that I had to add these things to my diet. And then it was also hard for me to eat those things because psychologically I did not want to eat them. It was just a very hard time. Oh my goodness. Oh. Um. Uh, um. I'm sorry, guys. I had to go away because I I hate when I see people crying on camera. I never know how they get there, and then here I am crying. But I really didn't realize it was that still that emotional for me, even after all these years. But yeah, I wound up changing my diet, and even after I had left the hospital, before I ate the liver, so it wasn't really like the next day. I'm kind of just cramming this story together. I had still followed the vegan diet because I wasn't listening to that guy. He didn't know what he was talking about, in my opinion. So I went to go see a fertility specialist, and I got my tubes checked. They were open and functioning properly. I was ovulating. I didn't have endometriosis, is what I thought that I had, because my cycles were just horrible. And oh man, do I still look like I was crying? But yeah, I didn't have endometriosis, and there was a hormonal problem. And before I decided to take the drugs that were going to be offered to me, the shots or whatever to fix my hormones, I decided that I would try the beef liver, and that's where I started. So yeah, it's crazy. Like, I still eat some vegan things sometimes, and it's just a weird situation to be in. As you can imagine, that was a part of my identity, being vegan for that long. I had very close vegan friends. I have very close relationships with vegan business owners. And my life was just very much focused and evolved around veganism. And that was just a big thing for me. And to have to make those changes, um, I'm going to just stop talking about that. So let's eat the fruit. Let's eat the fruit. So have you guys, this is a prickly pear. Have you ever tried one? This is my first time trying one. It is very pretty. It is very pretty. Look at the color. You see how red that is? Oh my goodness, I can't wait. What is that? Mm-mm. Are you supposed to eat the seeds? I'm gonna just swallow them. I don't want to spit them out. Ugh. I don't know. It's different. It tastes different. It's interesting. I'm not sure who's gonna eat the rest of it, but I know who isn't gonna eat the rest of it. She isn't. I don't know. But yeah, guys, since I've changed my diet, I've had a beautiful baby girl. It was a healthy pregnancy, although rough. It was a healthy pregnancy. She's healthy. And yeah. I don't know. How can I explain this? This tastes like... Okay, so y'all, this tastes like an unsweetened melon that has huge pomegranate seeds in it. That's what it tastes like. And I want it to taste good so bad because it's so pretty in color, almost like a dragon fruit or something, yeah. But it's not tasting that way, and it's messing with my psychological thing that's going on up here. I don't know how to explain it. It's got me all not right. But yeah, y'all, that's my story on veganism. I wish I could talk more about it, but I didn't realize that I was still that very emotional about it. If you are a nutritionist or someone that is very well versed on the vegan diet that can give me some insight on how I could do it again and better, definitely leave a comment. I want to hear the pros and the cons. So if you are someone that is against it, definitely leave it in the comments. I definitely want to be better this time and look at both the pros and the cons of the vegan diet. But yeah, I'm getting ready to get into this fruit. Thank you all for watching. It's been real. It's been all the way real today. Oh my goodness, I hate seeing people crying. It's so awkward. I don't be knowing what to do with my hands when people, I don't know. But I'm sorry that I got that way. I apologize. But yeah, it's definitely been real. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Give a thumbs up. Subscribe. Y'all already know. You should have been subscribed, okay? I'm not about to keep telling you this. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Like, I already told you with the comment, right? Okay, we already didn't cross that out. But yeah, y'all, y'all be easy. Until next time, peace.